You know, a resume, it seems like such a simple document, doesn't it? Just a list of dates, jobs, and degrees. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if a CV is actually a story, a really carefully constructed narrative of someone's professional journey? Today, we're going to deconstruct one to find out what it truly reveals.
So to answer that question, we're going to treat a resume like a storybook. And our case study for this is the professional journey of Dr. Mohad IQBAL-UR. We're going to follow all the little narrative threads of his career to really understand how a professional identity is built, one step at a time.
All right, let's meet our subject, Dr. Dar, an assistant professor in commerce. His CV is going to be our map. We're not just going to look at the destinations, the job titles, and the degrees, but we're going to look at the path itself and see how each and every piece of his career connects to tell this one cohesive story.
Looking at his career, it's pretty clear it's not just one thing. It's really a blend of 4 distinct yet totally interconnected roles. He's an educator in the classroom, a researcher who's pushing his field forward, a community leader invested in his institutions, and a mentor shaping the next generation. These are the 4 central themes we're going to trace through his story.
Okay, so every professional story has an origin, right? For Dr. Dar, that first chapter is his academic foundation. This is where he didn't just gain knowledge, but he really started to hone the focus that would end up defining his entire career.
Now, this timeline shows a very deliberate progression over more than a decade. He starts with a bachelor's in commerce, then he deepens his knowledge with a master's, and then it all culminates with a PhD. See, this isn't just about collecting degrees, it's a systematic journey of specialization. Each step is building on the last, creating this really solid foundation of expertise in commerce.
All right, so with that strong academic foundation in place, the story kind of shifts from learning to doing. This next chapter is all about putting that theory into practice, both as an educator and as a leader within his academic communities.
This timeline here maps out his professional ascent. He starts as a lecturer in 2018 and then steadily moves into assistant professor roles. But notice the geographic journey as well, from Punjab all the way to Bangalore. This isn't just a climb in title. It suggests a really high degree of adaptability and a drive to pursue the best opportunities, no matter where they are, in India's competitive academic landscape. And his contributions extend way beyond the classroom. These additional responsibilities, things like hostel warden, program officer, sports in charge, they paint a picture of someone who's deeply invested in the student experience and the overall health of the institution. This is that community leader role we talked about, in action, showing a dedication that helps shape the entire campus environment.
Now we get to the intellectual core of his professional story. For a lot of academics, their career is defined by a central research theme, like a puzzle they're trying to solve. For Dr. Dar, that puzzle is financial inclusion.
And this is not just some passing interest. His CV documents over 8 years of dedicated research experience. That length of time, well, it signals a serious commitment, a deep and sustained focus on developing true expertise in his chosen field.
And here it is. This is the cornerstone of that expertise, the title of his PhD thesis. This title is so revealing. It's incredibly specific, focusing on rural households. It's geographically targeted, the Kashmir Valley. This focus suggests a deep connection to a region and its specific socioeconomic challenges, and he's tackling a pressing real-world issue. This is the bedrock upon which his specialized knowledge is built. A long list of publications can be pretty overwhelming on a resume. But when we organize them thematically like this, a powerful story starts to emerge. See that consistent thread? Financial literacy, technology's role in inclusion, the impact on women entrepreneurs. It all orbits that central theme of financial inclusion, building this rich and multifaceted body of work.
Expertise isn't meant to be kept locked away in a library. By presenting his research at all these national and international conferences, Dr. Dar is actively participating in the academic conversation. He's sharing his findings, he's testing his ideas, and he's establishing himself as a contributor to the global dialogue on these really vital topics.
So he's built up all this deep expertise. The next logical question is, what does he do with it? This is where that 4th role we identified, the mentor, really comes to life, showing how all that knowledge can be translated into real-world impact. And here, we see him taking his knowledge directly to where it's needed most, to high school and college students. By conducting career counseling programs, he's using his own journey to light the path for others, offering practical guidance to help shape that next wave of professionals. And his impact just multiplies from there. By acting as a resource person for faculty development programs in Punjab, he's not just teaching students, he's teaching other teachers. Sharing his skills in complex topics like research methodology and data analysis using SPSS, that means he's empowering his peers and elevating the quality of education far beyond his own classroom.
So, after walking through the chapters of his academic life, his teaching career, his research, and his mentorship, let's pull all these threads together. What is the final, synthesized portrait that this CV actually paints?
When we distill everything down, this is what we see: a highly focused specialist. His interests in index development, financial inclusion, and econometrics, that's not just a random collection of skills. It's an integrated toolkit, purposefully built over years of study and practice, all aimed at understanding the complex world of finance.
And finally, after all the data, the dates, and the formal titles, you have the signature. It's a personal, human mark. It's just a powerful reminder that behind every single list of achievements on a resume, there is an individual story of dedication and commitment. It's the author's name on their own professional story. So, a resume is far more than just a piece of paper. As we've seen by deconstructing Dr. Dar's career, it can be a true narrative of focus, growth, and impact. It shows how a foundation of education can lead to a career of practice, specialization, and ultimately mentorship. Which leaves us with one last question. Every career tells a story. What will yours be?